Great to be in the sanctuary with everybody and feel your presence here, as we always do. People say, how do you do this in an empty sanctuary? I said, well, it's not empty. It's very full, actually. And it's full with the presence of everybody looking in, plus the presence of all of our members over the many, many years, and all the prayers, and all of the healings, and all of the wonderful breakthroughs that have happened in this room. So it's full of amazing grace, and I'm delighted to be in it now alongside of you. So welcome one and all to Casual Wednesday in the virtual sanctuary, and also to anybody who may be here for the first time. Really grateful to you for joining us and finding us. And if you're here at the end of our time together and you have appreciated what you have heard, maybe you could share that with a friend. And so, my dear ones, here we are in this wonderful opportunity at the beginning of something. The beginning of something is a very special moment, whether it's washing the dishes or whether it's reading a book or whether you're about to wash a floor or whatever it is, or be in the garden and start your gardening. It's a beginning. And every single beginning, and we have so many throughout our day, is an opportunity for you and an opportunity for me to remember always I'm in the presence, and the presence is always in me. And I'm accompanied. I'm not just the only one in the garden doing the gardening, but Spirit is in the midst of me, a very real presence, and in the flowers and in the grass and in the trees and in the bushes and so on and so forth. Same as Spirit is in you washing the cup and the dishes or whatever you happen to be doing the laundry, sorting the laundry, whatever that is. Every single time we change our activity is an opportunity to be consciously aware I am in the presence and the presence is in me. And that's what this beginning of this service is all about. Getting our minds stayed on the one, as we are told in Scripture. Keep your mind stayed on the one, on God. So here we go now. We're going to center ourselves in the awareness of something greater than ourselves and more than ourselves, but not apart from ourselves, something that is within ourselves, something that is truly, truly wanting to express itself more consciously through you and through me. That's what's happening. That's what's happening right now. And the quickest way to consciously become aware is by focusing on the breath, which is your essential essence, and mine too. And when you think about the essential essence being the breath, you know that the breath is not only flowing in you, through you, and out from you, but it's everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. And so we're always in that essence, and you and I have access to that essence, or as they would say in Star Wars, the Force. And so here we are, with the opportunity to begin again, anew, and allow ourselves to breathe in the beautiful presence of Spirit and realize it completely filling our body, our mind, our heart, our soul, and the great body of our affairs. And we're breathing it out again as a blessing, and only as a blessing. And when you and I breathe the breath as a blessing, there can be nothing flowing out from us except wonderful, wonderful, uplifting and healing energy and power. That's what it is to breathe a blessing, or to speak a blessing, or to feel a blessing. There is such power in blessing. So we bless everything before we begin. We bless our gardening, we bless the washing of our dishes, we bless the doing of the laundry, we bless the marketing we have to engage in, and so on. And I tell you, you would be amazed at the amount of beginnings there are in every day. And what that amazing, amazing energy does to, for, and through you. So I'm breathing in now that basic energy of life, the wholeness of spirit, the fullness of spirit, the power of spirit, the nature of spirit that can heal and mend and fix and bring together and bless. That's what I am. I am a blessing vehicle, the expender of blessings. I am the expression of that one life that chose to live by means of me in form. And I am in life for one thing and one thing alone: to know, to love, to understand, to be one, and to serve from that sensibility. And so I open myself up now to the divine inspiration that desires to express itself through me as service, as action, as movement, as that which brings life, enriches life, adds to life, uplifts life. I am that vessel, the tabernacle of the Most High, the container of the One, in a very unique and individualized way, as is every single person and every living thing, and everything lives, moves, and has its being in spirit. So I bless myself. I bless my mind, I bless my heart, I bless my body, I bless my soul, I bless the great body of my affairs. And I call them all good and very good. I call them all into integration, unity and harmony, and perfect well-being, perfect well-being. And I know this for every person, place, and thing too. For all of creation, I know wellness, fullness, and wholeness of being. And that is my blessing always, consciously or unconsciously. That is my intention, to be the blessing, to be the blessing, wherever I am, with whomever I am, however I am, to be the blessing. And so, with deep gratitude for all of my life's blessings, but most especially for the gift of awareness, that I can be this much aware, that I know who I am right now in this moment. And though I may forget who I am at times, that deep intention within me to always be the true essence of being is very much that force and that power and that energy that keeps nudging me until I remember it permanently. So always and ever, to the One be the glory, always, in and through and by means of me, by means of every person, place, and thing, and throughout all of creation. And I know this with deep gratitude. Deep, deep gratitude for all the good in my life, for all the blessings in my life, those known to me and unknown to me. And with deep faith in the One and its beautiful, amazing, creative medium, its law, I send this, what I know to be true, out into the cosmos and beyond, knowing, absolutely knowing, truly knowing, I'm heard and I'm already responded to, as is all of life. So I relax, I release, I let go, and I let the one be the one by means of me and all of its creation, as I say, and so it is. And so it is. And so, my dear ones, Wednesday already, goodness me, I really have just a sense of time as one great big thing anymore. I know that day follows night and night follows day, but that's about as much. And it's okay at the moment. And as you know, we're still going through the great challenges from all kinds of situations that are going on in our lives and in the world. COVID being very much foremost in all of our minds, and then all of the other issues that have come up. And that's the blessing that comes out of COVID, actually. That's the good that comes out of COVID. That everything is coming forward now to be taken care of, to be looked at, and to be amended, and to be transformed, and for us to understand that we truly are cusping. We're cusping now into a new way of being if we decide to embrace a new way of being. And for me, that's the only decision we can make, because not to make it is to leave the world in a very sad, insecure way for the children that are coming along after us. And that is not what we want to do. And so the issues are many. And that's okay, because the scum has to come to the top so that it can be skimmed off, all of it. No use leaving any of it. So we have our challenges. We have the medical one with COVID. We have the racist one right now. We certainly have the care of the planet before our faces right now as never before, because the situation with the planet is deteriorating every single day until we decide to do something about it. And we're still not too late, but we're getting to the midnight hour on that one. And I could list forever and I'd still be here when our time is up, but I'm not going to do that. You know as well as I know that the one way to help all of this to begin with, the one thing we all can do, is to bless and to bless and to bless and to bless every single thing and every single one into its unity and harmony and oneness with Spirit. And that's what we can do, all of us. And then individually, we all decide what it is for me to do and do it. But do something we must, because life is motion, it's movement, it's action. I was thinking this morning very much about, this thing called L-O-V-E, love, and how misunderstood that word is, and that emotion is. It's very misunderstood. It's very difficult to get it truly clear in our minds what we're called to as far as being called into love, because we were called out of love as love into love to be love, and what that means. And then we're told, of course, love God and love your neighbor and love your enemy and love yourself, and it's all the one love, and so on. Well, yes, it is. But I think we have to understand that love is more than an emotion. That's the first thing you have to understand. Love is not emotion. It's not feeling only. It is not. We have to love with our whole heart, our whole might, and our whole mind. See? So love, yes, is an emotion, but it's also an intelligence. So it's mind and heart. And we need to get the mind and the heart in balance. Especially when you see young people, they're desperately in love and so on and so forth. And as Raymond Charles Barker says, you get the frisky elders too who jump into it as well. And he cautions everybody about that part of the love process. Not to do that just simply based on emotion. But remember, there's an intelligence within that emotion that needs to be present. And he says all too often, people just leave the intelligent part out, in the beginning especially, and just jump into something they have no idea, truly have no idea about what it means to love in a way that's deeply emotional, and to think that you can commit to somebody else for a whole life just based on that. He says you can't. There has to be a wisdom in there. There has to be an intelligence in there too. That's why Browning said, all is love and all is law. Love and law. So emotion and intelligence is where we are with that. In this thing called Life, which is one of Ernest Holmes' very earliest books. It came after this thing called You, which was his first book. Beautiful books, both of them, and they're written in very poetic ways. Ernest Holmes says, and this has to do with loving the presence. You see, you may think it's easy to love the presence. It's kind of nebulous and somewhere and all of that, and you can love the presence. But that geezer of a neighbor next door that gets on my last nerve, I mean, come on. Or whatever, things you don't like, etc. You can love your work, or you can hate your work. But when you're practicing the presence, you don't see any difference in the sense that what love calls for is intelligence. Do you think that Jesus had the same feeling for his close friends and disciples and the same love for the Pharisees and the Sadducees? No, he couldn't stand the ground the Pharisees and the Sadducees walked on. Couldn't stand them. Hypocrites, brood of vipers, he called them. So what does love in that sense mean? Because I'm to love my enemy. It means wish them no harm. Wish them no harm. You don't have to like them. That's the thing. Love is more than an emotion. The intelligence and the wisdom in love says, I wish you no harm, but I really don't like you. And we don't have to hang around people whom we do not like for whatever reason, and many of the reasons are very good ones, and we do not have to hang around anybody that's injurious in any way to ourselves emotionally, mentally, physically, and so on. We don't have to do that. But we do have to wish them goodwill, and that's what that's about. So only coming from understanding the presence in me, through me, can do this if my egoic human self cannot. But my, certainly, divine aspect of being can. And so he says, if you will take time daily to sense the presence of life within you, to believe in it, to accept it, it will not be long before the life which you have known will gradually disappear and something new will be born, a bigger, better, and more perfect you. You will pass from death into life, and from lack and want into greater freedom, from fear into faith, and from a sense of being alone, that sense will pass into a realization of oneness, oneness with everything, and you will rejoice in this oneness of being. Now, how beautiful is that? You see, that's what I'm saying. If you make the beginning of every new thing every day the opportunity for you to pause for one breath and say, I'm in the presence, and the presence is in me. I can do this job. I can do this task. I can go into my hobby. I can read my book knowing I'm so blessed. I am so provided for. I'm so given to. I am so cherished. I am so loved by the creator of my being and the lover of my soul. Why wouldn't we do that when we know this can really and truly fortify us, keep us well, sustain us, maintain us, and give us that spiritual fortitude it takes at times to move through challenges in life and living? Why wouldn't we do that? Oh, we hear about it over and over again, but sometimes it goes in this ear, out this ear, and out the door. Now, let's remember this is power. This is the essence that you and I can access. It's the power, it's the presence of infinite intelligence that you and I can access. And so he says, you will soon discover that when you recognize this life in others, it will respond to you through them. It will be like calling someone by his name, seeing them, recognizing them. It will respond, and you will know that it is responding because you will feel its response. All sense of aloneness will disappear. These are beautiful books to be cherished, to be returned to over and over and over again. These two beautiful books, this thing called You and this thing called Life. Very simple to read, very, very simple to read, not complicated at all, and so uplifting and so inspiring. Ernest Holmes had a way of being able to touch that presence in a way that you get a sense from him. Absolutely, he did feel that, and that's true. And you can feel that too, and so can I. So if all the time throughout our days we can say, I want to see, I want to feel, I want to be one with the presence, and truly mean it. I want to see it, I want to feel it, I want to be one with it. You will be absolutely, I don't even know the word for it, amazed is too small a word. You'll be amazed anyway. Amazed, multiplied, 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 multiplied. By the feeling of that, and by the difference it makes in your thinking about yourself and in your thinking about all others besides. Truly, truly, this is not nonsense. This is not wish land. This is real. And the trouble is, you and I are so used to what is not real, it's hard for us to grasp what is. What is. When people say get real, they really in truth mean, wake up, wake up. And when we talk about reality in a three-dimensional world from a human mind, we're not talking about reality. There's one reality, and it's the one, it's the presence. We're talking about actuality. You can say, well, in actuality, and that's true, but not in reality. In reality, all are one. Everything is unified. All is integrated. All is whole. All of us are demonstrating that amazing state of grace that each and every one of us is born into. And so the choice is yours with regard to how you want to feel today, in any moment of today, or how you want to feel tomorrow or any other day. That choice is yours and that choice is mine. But I can assure you, if you and I occupy ourselves with worries and anxieties and concerns and fears and doubts, we're never going to be able to see and feel and know that we are one. Because negativity is not going to do it for you and for me. And that is why, if for no other reason, even if it's the selfish reason of not wanting to feel bad in any way, we were to commit ourselves to affirmative thinking and affirmative feeling in the beginning, we would start to get there, where we would become much more pervasive in our desire that all of life should know the one, see the one, and feel the one. And that's what we're called to do, because we're endowed with the ability to do it. We're endowed with that sacred gift that makes us able to do this. So, my dear ones, stop doubting yourself. Stop living in the small box. Stop thinking of yourself in any way small. Stop thinking of yourself as limited in any way. And start feeling and being who you are, the individualized expression of the one that chose to know itself, be itself, and express itself by means of you. And that's the truth. And there is none other. There is only the one, and there is none other than the one. The scriptures state that. And so I'm knowing for you today it's going to be a different day. Those of us who are listening in now, those of us who are present to each other right now, it's going to be a different day for you and for me if we decide that it's going to be a different day. But the decision is always yours, free will. I'm free to think all the negativity I want to think and embrace. I'm free to do the opposite too. What is it going to be? Because my well-being, my life, depends on my decision. And so, dear hearts, just take care of yourself. And when I say take care of yourself, I just don't mean your human self. I mean your great self too. Take care of yourself. Cherish yourself. Love yourself. Honor yourself. Respect yourself. Why wouldn't you? Because the divine lives in you, through you, as you, uniquely desiring to be creative by means of you, to express itself by means of you, to be the good will and life and light and love on this planet. And there's nothing to stop you or me from being that life, that light, and that love on this planet, except thinking makes it so. So choose this day, my dear ones, the blessing or the curse. Blessing being affirmation, curse being negation. What is it going to be? I think each and every one of us who are gathered together in this moment now are well capable of expressing fully the life that lives us, or we wouldn't be here together today, listening to what Spirit has to remind us of. We wouldn't. It's not an accident you're looking in. It is not. You may think, I have a few minutes now and I look. I'll observe, I'll listen, I'll see. You responded to something in your soul that called you higher in this moment. And that's why we're together in this moment now of blessing, of love, of light. And never, ever feel that you are forgotten because you're not, that you're alone because you're not. You are always accompanied by that presence and that power when it created you. It entered into you, and it remained with you. And you can access that essence any time you have the mind, the will to. You are not, by any manner or means, in any way, helpless. And you are not alone. And life is on your side, and the universe supports you. And the only divine design there is that you should have life and have it in abundance, that your joy may be complete, and that you should know the peace that passes understanding. And so I know you're going to continue to have a very rich and blessed day in the company of the One. Remember, when you begin every new task, remember that which is beginning it with you and working through you. And I can assure you, it will be effortless and easy. And that's the truth. And so now we're going to have our moment of celebrating our fullness and our plenty. And it is a lovely opportunity to feel the blessing of life. Feel the blessing of life. That we have enough, and that enough is the plenty from which we can share. And in the days when I can assure you, I was strictly budgeting and trusting that I would meet all my financial commitments by the end of the month, I nevertheless shared from what I had, and I never missed it. I never missed it. It was wonderful because I did it knowing that my supplier was the One, and that my source was the One, and that my employer was the One. And the One always provides me with my daily bread. And that daily bread is always rich, no matter what its size is. It's blessed, it's rich, and it's nourishing and expansive. And so now we have that opportunity to share from our goodness and share from our bounty. And we do it with a glad heart. And let me tell you, we're very careful about every penny that's spent here. I can assure you of that. Very, very careful. And so, my dear ones, I want to thank you now for all your incredible support, especially when we're a little bit more taxed, maybe, in these days. Nevertheless, those of you who have been so loyal and so true and so on the button with your contributions, you really are the glue that's holding all this together. And so thank you for that. And we are deeply and truly grateful. And for all of your life and everything in it, we hold you in our prayers. And we know for you always the highest, richest unfolding good. So thank you, my dear ones. And now we're blessing our gift. And if you've already sent in your gift, it doesn't matter. Put your blessing hands together and bless your good, the good in your life, and see it increasing, as we say. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to bring us all together as one. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is. So go into your day and know that you are loved and cherished. Until we meet again, much blessing.